Today's episode is brought to you by the best store in the universe. Thousands of shirts, but not really. Shop now and support the show at MaddoxRules.com. Welcome to the best debate in the universe. Every debate in the universe, from evil marketing to munch carpeting. With over 3.5 million downloads, I'm your host, Maddox. With me is the first tangent officer, Ron Babcock.
Happy to be here, Maddox.
And as always, the junior journalist, Taylor Nicolai.
Journalist in moderation.
Not yet. Welcome back to the show. Guys, exciting show this week. We've got a huge debate. We've got a controversial one, I think, that a lot of people don't really think about or consider.
I don't even know what the debate is.
Oh, really? Well, you're going to find out because I'm about to say it. It is, is plastic surgery false advertising?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very interesting, because there is a story that I'm going to read a little bit later that leads into this debate. It's something that actually became a topic a couple years back, and this is something that actually, is now in the zeitgeist. People are thinking about it. But first, I want to introduce our guest this week. She's been on the show 2 times before. 3 times before. Yeah. Fantastic, and a fan favorite. Mm-hmm. Please welcome back to the show, therapist Kelli.
Hi, so happy to be here.
Kelli, welcome back. Yeah, so as some of you may or may not be able to tell, my voice is a little bit shot. I just got back from VidCon, and there was a bunch of really loud parties where I had to scream at people so they could hear me. And there was nothing important. It was just
sounds kind of
like
good, actually.
Yeah. It's like
does it really?
Yeah, a little deeper,
Oh, shit.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I needed. Puberty didn't do the job. So, Kelli, as we've mentioned in the past, for first-time listeners, you have the show that you do with Dr. Deborah and Therapist Kelli show, right?
Exactly.
On LA Talk Radio.
Yep.
Yeah, still doing that. And very exciting news, right? Do you want to mention that you...
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. I have a book coming out the 26th. It's called Thriving with ADHD. It's a workbook for kids. Both my boys have it. I've gone crazy and decided to help other moms out there.
Well, congratulations. And is it your first book? Or
it's actually my third.
Your third book. That's right. Yeah, okay. And you've been working on this for a while, and it's finally...
Actually, it's so funny. It was a 6-week deadline, so I just had to
Whoa.
Yeah, I really had to churn it out.
Did you write a book in 6 weeks?
I did.
Do you need ADHD to write a book about ADHD in 6 weeks?
Thank God I don't have it. I don't know if I could have done it.
You need to teach Maddox how to write books.
Oh, so funny.
Because it takes him a really long time.
Yeah, we get it, Taylor. We get your joke. But you know what, Taylor? Last week we asked the audience whether or not Taylor deserves a promotion.
By the way, I was at the same parties. Is my voice messed up?
Slightly.
Really?
A little bit.
It's still super duper high,
Right.
but it's
But a
slightly
little
less
lower.
high. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe fewer people will question what gender I am.
Yeah, they're like, "You think he's a guy?"
Really unlikely. But we should get on with the debate this week. So, is plastic surgery false advertising? Before we do that, I want to hear everyone's buzzers. Here's mine. And Therapist Kelli.
Sure.
Triggered.
And Ron Babcock. There it is. If you hear a buzzer from anyone during this debate, that means someone is disagreeing with someone else, or we're just chiming in with an interjection, or we just want to add something to the debate.
So, plastic surgery, it's all plastic surgery?
Yeah, let's say all plastic surgery.
Okay, so everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what type of plastic surgery? Most plastic surgery is cosmetic, right?
Right.
And it's
Well, not necessarily, but
well, what? Let's exclude like burn patients, and
Right.
things like that, right?
okay.
So that's not false.
So you're
advertising.
always
Just for-
excluding the burn patient.
We're always excluding burn patients
So
on
just for
Madcast.
cosmetics is what you're saying.
Yeah, just
Okay.
for cosmetics. Yeah.
Okay.
So is plastic surgery false advertising? That's the debate this week, and there's a reason this became a story. I don't know if you guys heard.
The real question you're asking is, hey man, them titties are fake. That's
Right.
pretty
Is
much
it-
what we're
Right.
getting to. I'm assuming that's what this story you're about to read is
No,
about. Really?
No, wrong.
Okay.
Wrong angle here. But here's the actual story. This happened in, I think, 2015. There was an internet urban legend that destroyed a model's career. I don't know if you guys heard about this. I thought it was real up until literally today, and when I was doing research about the story, and I found out it was just an urban legend, but it did have real repercussions on this model's career. In 2012, a Taiwanese model named Heidi Ye was a successful working model booking regular jobs with name brands. Then she signed on to do an ad for a Taiwanese cosmetic clinic, and that's when her personal and professional nightmares started. So this ad featured Ye in a family portrait setting with a man and 3 children. The man looked noticeably different from the children, who Ye says were retouched to look the way they do in the ad. The tagline reads, "The only thing you'll ever have to worry about is how to explain it to the kids." And so this rumor started that this guy was trying to divorce his wife because she looked very pretty because of plastic surgery and his kids looked ugly. Oh. And so he said that was false advertising. I didn't sign up for this. I expected to have beautiful children, but that's not what you look like.
Whoa.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, it turns out the story is not real. Okay. But the damage is done. They spread this around. It got translated in multiple languages, got spread around the world, and everybody thought this was a real story. It was just this advertising campaign. So that's what this debate is about today. Is plastic surgery false advertising? If you married somebody who looked different than they were, naturally born.
Right, sure.
Would you be upset that your kids look different?
No. I mean, no. To me, it's like if you are not happy with something about yourself, I think you change it so you feel better, you feel more confident. So to me, yeah, I'm okay with it.
Well, I think the whole kid thing is crazy because DNA comes together in ways that we don't know which part who's who.
It's true.
You're like, oh, so like there's no uggos on your side of the family.
Right.
Genes don't just come from you. They come from everyone who's been a part of you, your whole tribe.
Right.
What, everybody's fucking beautiful in the family? Like, come on, man. Like you guys, so that's ridiculous. Now, plastic surgery, and you said, okay, we're not going to include burn victims, but I do donate to Operation Smile. It's children who have fucked up.
That's
lips
through like Amazon,
and
right?
that would be that would be considered cosmetic.
Yes,
because they're just giving themselves a nice smile.
Okay, but we're excluding.
And I don't think that there's anything wrong. You know where I'm going to go.
Yeah, the real strong stance there from Ron Babcock.
Right.
Defending.
I was thinking of the children. I mean, I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Here's what you said. Okay, so you said that your genetics, right? Your kids, it comes from everyone down your family line, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's true.
Okay.
But
which is why I got a buzzer.
You got the buzzer.
Usually you play that buzzer after someone says something's true. But okay.
Have you ever seen like hot people have kids? Their kids are also
not the act of.
I
generally
that's all I watch.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a Pornhub. There's a website called Pornhub that's just like hot people having kids.
I don't think they're having children.
Really? Because they don't pull out.
They're trying to have children.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
So they do it wrong sometimes. You would not believe.
I thought we were talking about plastic surgery. How did we get into this?
Okay, so
well, there's a lot of plastic surgery on this website as well. But yeah, they're very attractive people. A lot of them have used plastic surgery. So, if they have kids, they're not going to necessarily. I have seen people who have had plastic surgery and they look dramatically different.
Right.
Their nose, their chin structure, their cheeks, everything looks dramatically different. So if you have a kid like that, should you have to disclose that?
Well, do you think most people would disclose that to let
to their loved
people
one?
know that
Yeah.
they is there anybody who's getting married and not telling that, oh, hey, I had some plastic surgery done in the past?
I'm sure there are people who are embarrassed about it.
Yeah, people don't talk about
want
that
to think
stuff.
that they were naturally born like that.
Sure.
Wow.
Yes, I know some of these people in real life.
Oh, really?
Who have not told their significant others.
It's hard for someone like me to even identify because if I went into a plastic surgeon office, he'd be like, "What are you doing here? You're done." And
You don't need anything.
yeah, and that's a cross I have to carry.
Yeah.
It's just always being the person that knowing that everybody compares themselves to me at a party, and that's really difficult for me.
And just being too hot all the time.
Yeah.
I have that problem too.
I'm super buff now.
Yeah.
But I'm curious from your perspective, if you met a woman and would it matter if she had plastic surgery? Forget the kid part of it.
I mean, here's the thing, if she got a nose job done in high school because she didn't like her nose, I don't really give a shit. Is it something that you feel good about? Okay. But I would feel weird if I was with someone who wasn't aging gracefully. Like the kind of person who tries to desperately hold on to their youth.
Sure.
And is getting just Botox in every single part of their.
So everyone in LA?
Yeah. I would at some point I'm just I don't think aging is a bad thing.
Right.
And I think there's a way you do it gracefully and elegantly. What I think is creepy is when you see women pushing 50 and they're still kind of acting like they're still in their 20s and they're holding on to something that isn't there anymore. And I think it's there's something about that is sad to me.
What's aging gracefully? I hear this a lot.
Someone who's not afraid of gray, like taking care of yourself throughout your life, you know, and like staying active, basically.
And also being confident with who you are. That's aging gracefully. It's all about just confidence and being accepting it and okay with who you are. I feel like... a long time ago, I met Neil Strauss. Now, Neil Strauss, for those who don't know, is
the dating dude.
Yeah, the guy who wrote The Game, and that is the book about pickup artists, right? So I went to his place, and one of the dudes who was hanging out there was on his show, The Pickup Artist on VH1. He was, I forget his name, it's like Tommy or something. He was a big dude. And this guy carried himself with such confidence that it seemed like it didn't faze him ever a single day in his life. But that's not who he always was. He was an insecure guy before he gained the confidence that he needed to be okay with himself. So I think that's, to answer your question, Taylor, what aging gracefully would be is just having the confidence to be comfortable with yourself.
I agree.
So what if it was like a really ugly, confident person? Would you say that they're
I mean, we got a president.
Absolutely.
So.
Whoa.
Boom.
What's so weird about him is that I still don't know what his hair actually is.
Nobody does.
No,
And that's
it's
so
weird.
weird.
Yeah, I think it's made out of like old Fritos.
Well, isn't like the best evidence is that it's just like on the sides and then he does it? And then like I want to see that process.
It's so wispy. Like it looks like it was like it looks like it was he doesn't even use a blow dryer. He just uses the wind. Like it's so
It looks like a fan in the morning.
yeah, it looks like a wish that just is about to come true.
Like
you know, like it's so delicate.
It looks like it takes a while.
Well,
So, does he have a team?
Is that false advertising then? I mean,
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's like, where do you draw the line? Because it's like, I dye my hair. So is that false advertising? You know, I mean...
Well, no, that's but that's temporary. Cosmetic surgery is
permanent. Okay,
essentially.
so you're going to cut it off at permanent.
At permanent, yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, even
What if
tattoos...
somebody got like a mole removed from their face? Let's say they had one of those honking moles, not the cute one that like Cindy Crawford had. I'm talking one like right on the edge of the nose.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just like like an Uncle Buck.
Like when you want to just gnaw off.
Yeah, you know, when you're like, here's a quarter. Why don't you go down to Subway's or rack and gnaw that thing off your face? Like, and they take that off. Like, well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know?
Well, okay, but that's not carried on genetically, right? You're not going to pass on the same mole in the same place to your kids necessarily.
yeah, it's going to be in a new place.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to know something crazy?
What?
I was sitting next to a guy on a flight once, and he had this giant mole on his arm. And I'm talking like $half size. And there was not just like one hair coming out of it.
Yeah.
I'm talking like a legitimate fuck ton of hairs. Yeah. And it was so fucking long that you could have twirled your finger around it like a villain, you know, making plans. And he was an Asian guy, and I was looking at, and it was like the type, and also he slept with his head just on the tray table, like no pillow, just head straight down. And I'm like, I'm sitting next to the weirdest man in the world. But then I did a little research afterwards, and an Asian friend of mine told me, she's like, oh no, like moles, like they're considered like super lucky.
Interesting.
So it's like, and so you never like it was like something like about like.
Are they still lucky when they give you cancer?
Oh, God.
Salty Taylor.
Right.
You get a ding and a boo for that.
I haven't gotten enough sleep lately.
So
I like Salty Taylor.
Yeah.
Salty Taylor. Yeah, we need more salt from Taylor. So yeah, and by the way, I've had that same story, except there was a cop who pulled me over in the speed trap little town, and he pulled me over, and I could not focus on anything but his hairy mole on his arm, and it was exactly like you're describing. It was huge and fuzzy, and I'm like, why are you do something with it, man? Shave it or something.
But here's a great concept. What we were talking about before is culturally what's acceptable, what's not. Like in China, that's considered beautiful.
Oh, man, you got yourself a mole, man?
Oh my God! Like,
good for you.
Like I wish I had that, you know. Versus like, so it's so interesting culturally. Like, I mean, think about it. Butt implants have increased tremendously in America, but in Brazil, it was always sort of a big thing. So it's like, you know,
like butt implants where you get like more butt in your butt.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Where does that butt come from?
I don't know if it's silicone. Is it the same as
Silicone.
like breast?
When I die, I like to donate my butt. Like it's like the silicone thing, like they put in boobs, like they put in your butt.
Sometimes, yeah. But there's all these like horror stories. Like there are girls who've done
the thing
it.
that I don't understand is just the fact that this is going to be a thing that's part of your body forever.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me for the next 60 years that the thing you're putting in your chest is just going to work A-okay? We can't even make a microwave that works for more than 7 years.
It's always back with the technology doesn't work.
I get so fucking angry about stuff, about planned obsolescence. I get so angry about it. But like it's going to stuff burst, and I know that it's gotten better, but like I don't trust that stuff is just going to work for 30 years.
Right.
Well, no, but they say breast implants you have to change them every 10 years. So you're
what?
So you're in for another surgery after 10 years.
It's like an oil filter for your car.
Exactly.
For your boobs.
Yeah.
We got to chat. So we're doing this live on Saturdays, guys. If you haven't checked it out yet, follow me on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, and I will post a link when we go live on Saturdays. We've got some people in the chat room. Lori Foster, longtime friend of the show and listener and good friend of mine, says, Lori Foster says, do people really pick their potential mates based on the fact that they want good-looking children? I think so, yeah.
I don't think so.
No,
I've never
I don't
looked
think
at a
so.
girl and be like, oh man, she's gonna give me some fucking good-looking kids.
Hot kids? You don't think so, man?
I don't really care if I don't really think about my kids' hotness. My non-existent potential kids, like, man, I hope my kids fuck hard one day. That's never entered my mind.
But there have been studies that have found that people who are generally considered attractive on average make more money in life. Have you ever seen a hot homeless person? No. The answer is no.
Actually, I mean, yeah.
You saw a hot homeless person?
Sometimes I don't know if they're homeless. You know, it's that age-old game, hipster or homeless.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a little bit different. But an actual homeless person who's ugly is really rare. Right. I mean, I don't, to me.
I do
Really
beautiful, really attractive.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
I do agree with you that like people who are conventionally more attractive do make more money in life.
So you would want that, right, for your kids?
Yeah. I mean, I guess what I want to know is what is a problem with plastic surgery? First of all, I think plastic surgery is okay, but at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily the best thing for us. I think it's an okay thing to do, but I don't think it's like always like I think it's like anything, we just do it too much.
Well,
we have no moderation.
Yeah, right.
Where do you draw the line, though? Because
lips.
Tattoos.
Stop doing stuff to your lips.
Well, yeah, I mean, lip stuff always looks a little bit weird. Like, it's very rare when I see like a lip thing that went well.
Right.
And it becomes more and more. It becomes like this vicious cycle in Los Angeles. When they do it the first time, it doesn't look good. It gets like puffy and chapped and like it rips the skin because it doesn't stretch properly.
I think you draw the line at the moment you can tell that person has had plastic surgery.
Well, you can tell.
But I mean, if it's good, expensive plastic surgery, you can't tell.
Hey, then you know what?
So are you a classist?
A classist? No, I'm a person who enjoys quality work.
Yeah, he does enjoy quality work. So here's a tell. What if you date, a girl or a guy, and you found them very attractive, and you go home for the holidays for the first time, and you see her mother,
her mother,
or his father, and you're like, what's going on here? Because you don't look anything like your parents look like kind of like uggos, and you look fantastic. What's going?
Would you sound like an awesome guy to be in a relationship with?
Exactly.
Hey babe,
classic guy.
What's with your mom?
I think I wouldn't care because if I would have loved her enough to actually visit her family, her looks wouldn't matter at that
Shut
point.
up, Taylor. Tired of Taylor shit. Such a good guy, Taylor. Stan Morris says, Maddox, that actually happened. Stan Morris in the chat room said that I guess that's happened before. So yeah, if you go home for the holidays, you meet your partner's parents.
Well, even imagine if you go home and you see an old picture of your partner, and then you're like, oh wow, this was the before. So that I think would be more unsettling to the person.
Yeah.
Well, but like, why would you be pissed? It's like you got this hot ass partner. Like, what's the big deal? Maybe your kids aren't going to be super duper hot. That's your whole thing.
No, I don't think it's about the kids. I don't think.
I'm just saying that's what he's saying.
Right.
But if it should be a consideration. It could be a consideration. I'll say this: it could be a consideration for some people who are going into a relationship. Right.
I was with this guy and he was great, and then he broke up with me because he said I wouldn't give him super hot children. Do you realize how crazy that sounds?
I think this is so rare. I agree. Yeah.
Well, if you could get plastic surgery, what would you do? What would you change?
About myself, I'm very comfortable with myself in every way. So
okay, well, we have some notes. So I mean,
I'm short, and there was a time in my life when I was having very low self-esteem, and I genuinely thought about doing that surgery where they break your legs
Yeah.
and stretch them.
What?
Yeah.
So thank you, Taylor. That's a great.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, let's hear it. It's a whole like subculture of guys because there's a stigma in society about shorter guys. Women tend not to want to date guys who are shorter than them. So there's this entire subculture. And I talked to one of these guys on Facebook a while ago where he said,
Yes.
I was going to have him on as a guest on the show because he went through this
So
surgery.
he could
he
reach up to
did.
the keyboard to type right back? Wow. That's amazing.
Ron, just shaming them. But it's a real thing. And these guys feel, after the surgery, sometimes they'll only gain like 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, but it makes a world of difference. They feel more confident, etc. But that's a good consideration because if you are shorter than you actually are after the surgery, then is that false advertising? Because if you have, particularly short children, do you think that I mean, it is
And
false
by the way, I
advertising,
would never
right?
actually do this at this point. Like, there's so many fears with like, I'm an athlete, so, I play.
Look at everyone's silence.
Will you play Fortnite?
I play sports and stuff, and like the idea, your legs would probably crack.
I mean, yeah, okay, sure. It might be false advertising in some cases. Now, to general society, like, why would I care if this guy's a few centimeters taller or not? It would be false advertising if they didn't tell their partner about it.
Okay, so you're all about the disclosure.
Yeah, well, I think
Okay.
if I went through something where I changed you're supposed to be the partner you choose for life is supposed to be the person you have to be the most honest with.
Right.
So if you're not disclosing something, especially something where it's like, yeah, I used to look totally fucking different, and then I went through this like surgery that changed my face or some other aspect of your body. Yeah, I think that should be mentioned just because that's your partner and that's who you share that shit with.
Sure.
So in that case, I think it would be false advertising. But for the rest of society, like, I don't give a fuck.
Well, let's extend this to gender.
Yeah,
Okay?
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, so gender reconstructive surgery.
This is a bad direction to go.
No, I don't think so, because we had on the show a long time ago Blair White, who is a trans woman, and we debated, are traps gay? And that was kind of an interesting topic. But we actually debated this very frankly. She's very open about it. And there's a pretty big debate that you should disclose that to your partner or not.
Right.
What do you think about that? Because that is also, it's not entirely cosmetic because sometimes it is gender reassignment as
Exactly.
opposed to like a preference. like a
Jeez,
gender
yeah,
preference.
that's a big.
This is one of those conversations where anything we say might be ethical and moral now, screenshotted it, and then show it in 20 years. They'd be like, how dare they
You're
say
right.
Look at
Exactly.
those, look at those fucking
Yeah.
gender ableists or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah, they'll come up with some new slur to.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things that you should mention at some point, but obviously you can't do it on the first date.
You would have to on the
in
first
Tinder
date.
profiles, often they say in their Tinder profile.
Well, it's like kind of if you go out with a girl and she has kids, is she supposed to say immediately like, I have kids? Or is
Yeah,
like,
man,
you
that's.
know,
So on Tinder, the way they
consideration.
usually do it is that they hold kids, and the assumption is if they say "not my kids,"
There's not your.
that
Yeah.
they're not the kids. But if they don't say that, then it's like, oh, she's got a couple kids.
But why does the woman have to disclose that she has kids, but not if she has fake boobs? Because you could just tell.
Well, if with fake boobs and fake asses, here's where I don't really care. It's not to me. It is. I mean, it's not what you were born with, but I don't care about the false advertising angle of that because if I'm going to have kids with this person, because again, we're going back to the story
I
about
want my
the guy.
daughter to have big old titties.
Yeah,
That's what you're
I don't care. I don't want my daughter to have big old titties or a big ass because that's creepy. I don't want to think about my daughter in any kind of like sexual way, and I don't want to think about
What?
sorry, saying Ron.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so that's the one time I'd be like, okay, yeah, her mom's got a great ass, but I don't necessarily care or want my daughter to as well.
Right,
I mean,
right.
if she does, great. If not, that's fine too. I don't want to think about my daughter's ass. But this is by far the most I've ever speculated about a child I don't have.
Right.
And her potential ass, and it's already making me feel uncomfortable. Therapist Kelly,
I would want it disclosed.
you would want it
I would
disclosed.
absolutely want it disclosed.
If your wife had an ass implant, you'd want to know that.
Oh, I was talking about the gender stuff.
Oh, the gender stuff. Yeah. That's where a lot of people lie. That they fall on that side of the spectrum.
Well,
Sure.
see, Stan Morris, he brought up a good point in the chat room. He said trans people often face violence for telling folks.
Oh, well, that's what
So
they
good. I didn't. I got to be honest. I don't. I have a couple of trans friends, but we don't really like talk about it. Only because I don't. Like sometimes I just want to have a conversation with someone, like I don't want it to be like yet another person to be like, so
Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm sure they go through that life, like constantly having to talk about it. It's like, man, sometimes you just want to talk about the Avengers too.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
I never bring up anything that's, obvious unless they do or they want to talk about it, because I don't think it's fair for people to be identified by that their whole lives.
Absolutely.
If that's, that shouldn't be the only thing that identifies them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel the same way about that. But anyway, back to this whole thing. So you don't think that there's any issue that, we've talked about shortness, we've talked about height, we've talked about hair. If guys, so what about this? What if your husband had like some kind of hair surgery, right? And regrew his hair somehow because of
transplant or
like
whatever.
Transplant, exactly.
I'm listening. Okay. Yeah.
And didn't disclose that to you,
Right.
And your children all come out
Children
Bald.
come
all
out
the
bald.
yeah, you have bald babies. Do you want bald babies?
So here,
Freaky if your child came out with a full pompadour. That's all perfect. That'd be even weirder.
okay, so here's my thing. First of all, I think that if you feel comfortable, disclose it. Yes. I don't know if I'd feel tricked in any way. I mean, I think that you go for a partner you love. You're not so much focused on what's my offspring going to be, and I wouldn't be pissed if it didn't turn out right, because kind of like what you were saying at the beginning. I mean, you get what you get, and you can't be upset. Like, that's it. We don't know where it comes from and everything like that. So
Yeah, I think the argument boils down to if it's going to go away, then it's something that you can complain about. That they didn't disclose it. So, like, if somebody had a nose that they had on, but it fell off 5 days later, like, that's something that it's like, well, you probably should have disclosed that to me. And I guess maybe it's weird, like, there's a weird middle ground where, like, every 10 years or so you have to get breast implants. And maybe that's a weirder line. I don't know. I guess that's where I'm coming from.
But I do think the gender thing is like, I feel like that's got to come up in a relationship. Like, that's a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
would
should
say
be like because why wouldn't you disclose it? Because you'd be afraid that the person would be freaked out and they would leave. So you're already starting your relationship off, not necessarily on a lie, but withholding of the truth.
Sure.
And I don't think that that's a very good foundation to
Right,
build
right.
something.
Now, I don't know the history of this, and I pray that this isn't transphobic in any way, but I would assume most people actually do disclose before having any sort of physical reaction.
I think so, but in the trans community, it's split, not 50-50. Most trans people do agree that you should disclose it, but some people do not. Some people say, well, you should love me how I
Right.
am, who I am, as you see, But
And this is who I am now, so it doesn't even matter
exactly,
what I was. Yeah.
But I mean, it is a consideration. I mean, this is getting into like the politics of gender and reproduction, but it is a consideration if you do want to have kids with your partner and they don't disclose that.
Here's my thought. I think disclosure is wonderful all across the board. Like, I think the more you can disclose with somebody, the better, because then it's like it's out on the table and you can build a nice, solid foundation from there. So that's
What
just
about
to say.
mental illness?
I mean, listen, if you're going to be with somebody who's going to be mentally ill, you need to be prepared, and
I mean,
they need
do
to
you really
know.
need to even disclose it? I mean, I kind of feel like that's going to come out.
That's actually a
Right.
conversation I've had with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, do I disclose on my dating profile, like, not necessarily me, but like,
I mean, we
that
don't
I
know
have
how to
this and
put
that?
all the shit out
Right, immediately.
right at top. I mean, it's like,
Well, no,
if you
but that's
put a
my
window-
question. How much do you put
Yeah.
up front?
I don't think I think it's okay. Like, if you're putting a window, if you got a dress shop and you're putting dresses out in the front window, I mean, you're not going to highlight the fact that there's a stain on one of the dresses or a tear. You're going to kind of hide that shit. I mean, you're going to tell them before they buy. Be like, oh, by the way, there's a little
Right.
bit of a stain right here. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Like
We should have had Vin Clancy again for this. Like,
Oh, Vin.
all of a sudden, it's turning into basically this question is: what's the ethical and unethical way to market your body?
Huh. That is
again,
interesting.
that's really hard for me because I have what is known as a textbook definition perfect body.
Yeah.
So
Ron is a 10.
yeah,
Right.
it's
So
like, and
it's-
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
it's real
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
Did I tell you guys I started running this week?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Do you know you don't burn many calories just running?
No, but you know what? It makes
Taylor.
me feel. It makes me. I know I should be doing, and I am doing other stuff. But I just started the running just to improve my cardio and just to get off my ass.
Nice.
And to get moving. And yet, guys, it turns out like I'm total fit bro right now.
You're a fit bro, huh?
Yeah,
So
I'm total
funny.
fit bro. Yeah, it's crazy.
Won't be able to stop talking about it at parties.
Oh my god,
soon enough.
there is
Yeah.
a CrossFit gym by my house.
Oh,
and
there-
I almost walked by and walked in. Was like, hey, how much you guys charge for membership? And I'm
Oh
like,
my God,
I'm not there
No.
yet.
This
one of
is
those guys.
not a bit. Like, I don't know what CrossFit is, and so many people have talked about it for so long that it's like
more of a way of life, Taylor.
It's like I'm afraid to like even look it up because I'm ashamed of myself.
I don't know what it is. It has something to do with pushing a tire around.
That's what that's in my head. It's like the thing where you pick up a tire and that's
Right.
CrossFit.
What do we say? The CrossFit is the libertarian of physical fitness?
No.
Like
CrossFit. Yeah.
What was that?
Okay, I just made the connection. Okay, so 2 weeks ago I said that libertarians are the vegans of the political
Right,
world.
that was it.
right.
Yeah, okay.
And now you're saying that CrossFit are the libertarians of the workout world.
Yes.
Right.
Correct. Okay, I did the math.
Like it.
That checks out.
I think a lot of it is like lifting your own body weight.
It's just very strenuous physical activity, conditioning, cardio, and weights.
Yeah,
It's-
so
it's
like
really
it's
know.
not a sustained cardio. It's like you're up and you're down. You're up and you're down.
But it's tough. It's really hard.
I'm sure it's
Yeah.
crazy tough. But
Yeah.
like,
Well, it's also pushing yourself to an extreme. So it's like if you know you can do 40 squats, they'll be like do 80,
Right.
and you eventually do as many as you can,
So
and
you're
you throw
hiring
up.
bullies.
Yeah, you're hiring bullies.
well, the weird thing about is I think a couple rules of life. I think if you should never get a haircut from a hairstylist whose hair you don't like, and I think when you go into a gym and you see the trainers, like you shouldn't go into that gym and get a membership there if you don't like the way they look. And I see a lot of CrossFit people and they're jacked as shit, but I'm like, I don't want to look like that. Like
Yeah.
there's something weird about
Really?
it. Like it looks like their muscles are trying to escape their body.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
know what you're talking about. It's too much definition.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want too much definition with muscle.
Yeah.
I don't want to see
Me and Maddox like to keep it nice. Put some curves on that.
a nice
you know what I mean?
smoothness. Yeah, let's smooth that out. Smooth it out. Real nice.
I'm going to
smoothness.
disagree with you guys, but I appreciate your point. But you know.
Wrong therapist, Kelly.
Can I talk about what I've been doing for
Yes,
exercise?
please.
I started playing a sport called pickleball, and it
I know
sounds
pickleball.
like a joke.
Yes, I actually played this on my cruise last week.
It is the funnest shit ever.
the best. The
Like
best.
it sounds so
Hi, I'm
dumb.
Taylor. I'm a professional pickleball player.
Okay. Honest to God, though, you play pickleball, you will enjoy it. I've never met anyone who plays pickleball who
Is
doesn't
the
like
ball in the shape of a pickle?
No.
it. No. So it's essentially tennis with
Ping
a
pong.
smaller thing, and it's like a wiffle ball.
Okay.
And
On a tennis ball court?
you can play it on, but it's a smaller one.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, it more and more people like I may be the first person, or we might be the first people you hear this to. All you listeners out there, you might all be playing
fuck with pickleball?
Y'all be playing pickleball in three years. We're starting it. It's big in
fun.
Florida and it's big in California. And once it hits the Midwest, all of a sudden you're all gonna be like, "Wow, Taylor's so much better than me because he's got 3 years on me."
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to say that. Also, Taylor's got really strong predictions on
right,
on like
right.
cryptocurrencies and pickleball.
Right. Pickleball.
Before we,
Two things to invest in.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, pickleball.
pickleball, yeah. Oh, you want to buy some balls now, buddy?
I mean, to be fair, I've lost a lot of money on crypto. Like,
I was hoping you were going to say
Pickleball.
I lost a lot of money on pickleball.
Yeah.
I've lost.
Yeah, I got taken to the cleaners on that whole pickleball thing. I don't know what I was
Oh my
thinking.
gosh! I bought a whole like court.
I've lost a lot of friends from pickleball.
Well, let's get this back on track though. Before we wrap this up, which has been an interesting debate, we got.
I still want to hear an example of how you think it's false advertising.
Well, like I said, if you have
That's not the whole kid thing.
the kid
That we
thing,
have,
yeah.
I think, established that is total bullshit.
Well, the story's bullshit, but
Yeah.
it's a real potential thing, don't you think? Like if you kids have they all have a unibrows that come
Okay.
out, and wouldn't you like, wouldn't you like if your husband didn't disclose to
Okay,
you that
all
he was
right.
Armenian?
Okay. Okay. All right. So the Armenian husband got plastic surgery, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
all the kids come out with unibrows. Then you know how you deal with it is go, okay, but you, the husband, has to pay for the plastic surgery.
Okay, that's fair, but still, it's false advertising because I would be pissed if my kids came out all with unibrows and I didn't know like my wife had like unibrow surgery.
I think it's going to be from your side of the family.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, let's call a spade here.
You know what's funny though? Unibrow looks really good on me. I've drawn one in before, and I'm like, this. Well,
You got to wear it next
well,
show.
I'll do it. You know what? Maybe I'll have a unibrow next show. So actually, here's how it happened.
This is a weird tangent we're going on.
There was a girl I dated where when she was
Cro-Magnon.
she was
She was blind.
No, almost because of me, but she was drawing on her eyebrows, right, with the little pencil, whatever. And my favorite thing to do is just come up and like bump the back of her head just a little bit, and she would like draw a little streak across her. And one day I got her really good, and she got pissed. She goes, you know what? I'm going to do it to you. I said, okay, fine. So she goes, I can do anything I want. I'm like, go for it. So she sat down and like drew a bunch of garbage on my face and they gave me a unibrow. And I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, this looks kind of good on me. I think some guys can rock a unibrow. I'm one of those. I can rock a unibrow.
I want to see it. Definitely.
You got it. You're on. Next week, I'm going to have a unibrow when you guys are watching live. And one last comment I want to read in the chat room. So we can wrap this up. Catherine in the chat room says, when you get into a serious relationship, being honest with your partner about both your physical health and mental health is crucial. That person deserves to know how to support you. I cannot agree more with that statement.
That's what's so frustrating is that if you know what it is and you're in a relationship, you still care and love, you just need to know how to react the right way.
Totally
right.
In order not to like it be codependent or anything, but like to help through bad times and help understand,
right.
Just for you to understand how you're supposed to feel when you hear certain.
Absolutely.
Right. And like if you had a partner who needed insulin, you wouldn't hide that from your partner because they would need to know that hey, occasionally I might need some insulin if something happens, you know.
Or if they're an alcoholic and I shouldn't be offering you alcohol every time we're going out. Like I really like I had a friend this week tell me that they were an alcoholic and I was like, I respect you so much for telling me that. I'm never going to pressure you or put you in any bad situation, but like, thank you for telling me that.
Yeah. The only thing I pressure my friends to do is play Pokemon Go, which, guys, I just posted my friend code on Facebook. Go ahead and add me there. But
do you know what people never have problems disclosing? If they're vegan.
Yeah, that's amen to that, dude.
I mean...
Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate. But guys, now's your chance to vote on MadCast.
By the way, people are killing it in the chat room.
Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty entertaining.
The pickleball.
This was Catherine said for her pickleball. She went, "Is the ball soaked in brine?" and then she went for the kids. If your kids have unibrows, she just wrote, "Buy your kids some tweezers."
Right.
Yeah. Well, buying your kids tweezers isn't going to solve it. It just grows back. That's how hair works, for the most part. Just ask Ron and I.
Just buy your kid. No, man, you just get it. Like you give them a Groupon for $1,000 to one of those laser places.
Oh yeah.
And then you're good.
I guess you could laser it off. All right.
Sure.
Well,
and then that's permanent. So is that considered
false advertising?
Yeah, it's
exactly.
false advertising. That's my whole point, shithead. I'm saying that it's false advertising. Anyway, guys, vote
you
on
might not have a unibrow, but our kids might. What? Well, this is our first date. I'm gonna have ugly kids now.
Yeah, very disappointed in the beauty of my kids. No, I got good genes. I'm not worried. Guys, vote on madcastmedia.com. The voicemail number is also on the website. But we should get a recap of last week's debate. Last week, Kelli, we debated, is marketing evil? What do you think?
Ooh, it can be.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, we had a real guy who kept waffling out of the, he kept on, which I was thinking like that legality is not a replacement for morality.
Yeah, that tweet started going viral.
Yeah, which I totally thought of. Yeah, I saw a tweet like, like slavery was legal. Lots of stuff was legal that is we now consider immoral. Yeah. And I was like, God damn it, why didn't I say that on the podcast?
That was a perfect argument. Yeah, this tweet went super viral. It's got over 200, maybe 300,000 retweets or likes on it. But yeah, the guy was saying that it was illegal. It was legal to have slaves for a long time. It was legal to discriminate and to kill Jewish people. What was illegal at the time was to protect Jewish people. And he said that his grandma, who tried to protect some Jewish people in her attic, was considered a criminal at the time.
Right.
So legality is not a guide for morality, essentially. I mean, oftentimes it is, but not always.
Now, Vin did say that the law usually gets it right, not in all cases.
That's true, yeah.
So
to be fair.
He did kind of mention that,
yeah.
but...
A lot of people really liked Vin.
He
what's
was
funny?
Great.
Some people. I was reading some of the comments. It was very divisive though, because I found that people who were in marketing or marketers loved Vin, and other people who weren't hated him.
Okay, so I love Vin, but he didn't say anything. He didn't actually give any sort of answer to the whole question.
Yeah, he waffled out of it because we couldn't get to anything.
Yeah,
because there's an objective like core that was just like.
Yeah, so he kept going to objectivism as opposed to talking about the ethics, which was the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have definitive results. What did
the people say?
Yeah.
The people said with 54% of the vote, no. They said marketing is not evil. Fucking idiots. And then
it's a lot closer than I.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a 90-10.
Yeah. No, it was a pretty interesting debate. I think we did
with how much I argued like I would actually have to say that I am still on the side of marketing is not evil, even though I was kind of arguing. I don't know what I was arguing.
I think maybe
it was a weird debate.
You know what? I don't think marketing is evil, but I think some marketers are.
Yeah,
oh, absolutely.
That's a good way of putting it. So last week, the other part of the debate we asked is, does Taylor Nikolai deserve a promotion? Taylor, we've had these before.
I don't believe I do.
Yeah, well,
a promotion to
promotion.
To a name change.
A name change. Yeah, you get a title change. You get a
Yeah, I didn't think it was so much of a promotion as a, just a better description.
Yeah. Well, here we go. We put it to the test, and the audience voted with 66% of the vote. Yes.
Yay!
Congratulations,
Makes me
Taylor.
so happy.
Yeah.
Because if it's journalist in moderation, all they're saying is that I'm really bad at my job.
Taylor, we'll see.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah,
I love it.
We don't know what the title is yet because I haven't said it. So, hold your horses.
We don't know what it is.
So, Taylor Nikolai, I am proud to announce that you're going from junior journalist to journalist in moderation.
I love it.
I'd like to thank the fans, my mom, my dad.
Yeah,
And pickleball fans.
And pickleball fans, yeah. Well, congratulations, Taylor. You are now a journalist in moderation. But we should get on to the voicemail. And then we got some quick news headlines with Taylor. But speaking of Taylor, last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago, he brought in a story about how some scientists were creating a pizza that helps cure cancer. And I put out the call to have that scientists call into the show. And you would not believe it, Therapist Kelly. We get such a high rate of success of these people hearing our podcast and calling in. Here's the scientist who worked on the cancer pizza. Yeah, listen to this.
Hi, Maddox and team. I'm actually one of the scientists who created the cancer-curing pizza that you've been talking about so much recently. We've been listening to your criticisms and would just like to point out that we originally created anti-cancer bags of dicks, but it turns out only the Maddox fans were eating them. Go fuck yourself.
Love it.
Correct. They were eating bags of dicks on this show. My fans are. They usually are. And then Taylor, I got so much voicemail about this news story you brought in about this guy named Jonah Falcon, who supposedly has the world's largest penis. And it was like something like 7 inches in girth.
It was like 13 inches long and 7 inches in girth. I didn't memorize his penis, but like my whole question the whole time was, I don't think he can have sex.
Yeah, it's like a loaf of banana bread.
Yeah,
That's
insane.
Well,
we got a ton of voicemail about that. Listen to this.
Hey, this is Jonah Falcon. This is how I talk. Taylor asked me how I'm able to have intercourse with, my gigantic cock. The only woman with a big enough vag is your mom, Taylor. Got him. Oh, fuck whales.
great.
Oh, shit, dude. Another celebrity call-in. What? 2 for 2, man.
I am just shocked and awed.
Yeah. Well, we got more voicemails about this. Jonah Falcon. I can't believe Jonah Falcon listens to the show, but listen to this.
Hey, I just wanted to call Taylor out for his article on Jonah Falcon. Yeah, that was news back in 1999. The guy with the large penis. I thought he was supposed to be doing current news, not news from when Maddox first started his website.
I'm scraping news items from this week. Like, maybe it was a story.
No, it was fine. But I liked the story. I don't think that's a criticism. But
also,
criticism,
I think the news was that he admitted that he was having sex with famous people. And I don't think he had done that before.
He was lying about that.
It was an addendum.
You know who I heard has a huge penis in Hollywood is Willem Dafoe. Supposedly has a huge penis. It's like a legend in Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah. Everyone. They sometimes if they don't have a red carpet, they just roll out Willem Dafoe's penis.
Ariana Grande publicly said that her now fiance has a large penis as well. She said on Twitter to some kid that he has a 10-inch penis.
Gross. Well,
How did we come to this?
Yeah. Well, we came to it through these voicemails, and here's one more about this. Listen to this from our own Jesse P.S. from Pod Awful. Listen to this.
Hey Maddox, it's Jesse from Pod Awful. Remember me? Anyway, I heard you talk about Jonah Falcon, the guy with the biggest penis in the world. This actually isn't news. It had the largest penis on record for a long time now, and I heard you refer to it as maybe being a quote-unquote fluff piece. Well, unfortunately, I can confirm that it is not. I've been Facebook friends with Jonah Falcon for years because I tried to get him as a guest on my show, and although he did decline, he didn't stop himself from sending me pictures of his penis every year on my birthday ever since. Happy birthday to me, I guess. Okay, thanks, bye.
I mean, it's...
Wow.
Was he sending like erect penis pictures, or
I think when you have
one
the
way to
world's-
find out.
I think when you have the world's
Facebook
largest
friend him.
penis, even a flaccid penis beats most erect penises, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a...
Can you pull this up? I got to see this.
Yeah, Stan Morris in the chat room says he got a boner and broke his own record. Yeah, I mean, we will pull it up, but this is broadcast live. I don't think we can put a penis on YouTube.
I just don't like. I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind a dick pic sent to me if it was the world's largest dick, only just
For fascination purposes?
just to enjoy. Like, this is the biggest version of this.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like just.
It's like a Great Dane. Like,
Yeah,
you just want to see the biggest
Be like,
dog.
wow, or like it'd be like, you know, if you see a dire wolf, you know, you're like, well, that's a fucking big ass dire wolf.
Yeah, I want to see the biggest or smallest of something. Always.
there was a
Here's-
time I was one of the biggest Snapchatters in the world, and I got penises by the boatload every day.
Oh my God.
penises.
Yeah, people
Lucky boy.
people would find my Snapchat and just send penises.
Do you just got like a hard drive full of dicks now?
Yeah,
you
talk
know?
about a hard drive. Here's a voicemail. A couple weeks ago, we talked about. I mentioned that sexual objectification, I think, is potentially a good thing because we objectify people all the time. And the only reason you would think that sexual objectification is bad is if you think sex is bad. And we got a voicemail about that. Listen to this.
Hey Maddox, I hope everyone's doing fine. So I think that the problem that we have in this society is not that we're sexually objectifying people. I think the problem is that we're sexually objectifying certain kinds of people. Now, for an unattractive woman, obviously it's going to be easier to just pull the feminist card instead of admitting to yourself that you don't fit the criteria of the beauty standards. So what I'm saying is, Maddox, you owned that debate last week. You had some really good points, and I think you're right. People need to stop demonizing sex. Sex is awesome, and therefore being a sex object isn't necessarily a bad thing. Love you guys, love the show. Greetings from Berlin, and fuck Wales.
Hey, how cool is that? All the way from Berlin.
Wow.
Yeah, we get callers all over the world.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. And then we, Ron, your favorite caller, we got the Bad Hombre calling in.
Bad hombre.
Because I talked about, so Therapist Kelli, I showed you before the show, I'm trying this Nutrafol, the sponsor from last week's episode, and
how's it going?
yeah, I just started it, so we'll see. But
I notice you're wearing a hat. Are
I'm
you
wearing
hiding it?
I wanted to be a surprise.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
you guys will have a reveal.
The big
Okay.
reveal.
But I showed you a picture of what I'm going for, which is
Yes.
Zangief from Street Fighter 2. And
I love it. It looks like Mr. T to me.
yeah, like a white Mr. T.
Yeah, totally.
Pretty badass. Well, here's the Bad Hombre calling in about this.
Hey, Maddox, I hear you want to have a Zangief mohawk. You pick a fucking game that has fucking people shooting fireballs out their fucking hands and they do fucking spin kicks and all that shit, like fantastic moves. And you want to look like the guy who doesn't do any of them. The guy who just punches and kicks real hard. Now, he's not even the one with the best fucking mohawk. It's fucking Birdie from Street Fighter Alpha. It's like he's got a fucking hole through his fucking mohawk. You can't beat that shit. Or you could have just stayed bald like fucking Sagat. He's the fucking biggest badass in the fucking game. Nah, you want to have a mohawk like that fucking dumbass Zangief. Oh, I am Red Cyclone. You're a fucking pendejo, man. I swear to God, man.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
think I've ever heard him so worked up about anything before.
I know. He was like, "Yeah, why don't you have Zangief just punches and kicks real hard?" That's me. That's what I punch and kick real hard. And the other thing about here's the thing: my looks, right, are informed by multiple Street Fighters. Okay, so he said Birdie. Birdie's probably my all-time favorite character from the series. He does have a really cool. He's a black dude with a really cool mohawk and sick-ass sideburns. I have sick-ass sideburns. All right, that comes from Birdie. The eye patch from Sagat. Look at that. My logo has an eye patch on it. And then now, if I get the mohawk, I'll have Zangief too. So you're welcome, guys. That's what my entire My entire aesthetic is informed by Street Fighter 2.
Do you disclose all of this on a first date?
Right, exactly.
No, it's always false advertising. Here's another voicemail. This guy's talking about marketing in porn being bullshit. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. So I'll tell you the most manipulative and worst kind of advertising. It's when you're beating off and you're on a porn website and it says, "Oh, so-and-so is 1 mile away and wants to fuck." That's manipulative because, I mean, you never can't click on it. So, I mean, you do, and then it turns out that nobody wants to fuck you. That's bullshit.
Oh my god! He's right.
That just sounded like such sincere heartbreak.
It did. It really did.
Yeah.
One time he was like, I am going to click on this.
Yeah, I'll see who wants to fuck me. Turns out nobody. And then we got, I'll play 2 more voicemails here. We got to wrap this up soon. But I talked about how a couple episodes ago, I tried to give the flu to a spider that I saw in my my little walkway.
Oh,
I walked by this little fucker every day and thought, you know what? You get sick too. So I started coughing on him. Well, believe it or not, this is 3 for 3. He called into the show. Listen to this. The spider that I gave the flu to.
Hey, Maddox. It's me. The spider you gave the flu to.
Oh, my God.
Guess what? It didn't work. Me and my 897 offspring are on our way to kill you because we're arrogant, and now we're immune.
So why was he coughing if it didn't work?
Exactly, thinking the same thing.
Was it a smoker's cough?
Yeah, he may have been a smoker. That's
okay.
It was a real dry cough. Yeah.
Fucking spiders.
And then we got another voicemail. We got this guy who calls in most weeks. He goes by the Real Christian Atheist. I've played a lot of his voicemails, but I noticed something about his voicemails. They all start the same, and he leaves a lot of them. Sometimes I don't even get to play them some weeks, but I do listen to all of them. But I wanted to bring in a little montage of some of the intros to his voicemails just from this week alone. I think you guys will get a kick out of this. Listen to this, the Real Christian Atheist.
Hey, Lord Maddox, it's me. So I was in an argument with a fellow. Hey, Lord Maddox, it's me. So I saw this at the halfway point, but after finishing it, hey, Lord Maddox, it's me. I liked how you guys talked about, last names, meaning. Hey, Lord Maddox, it's me. Sometimes I'll be drunk watching your Maddox news show. Hey, Lord Maddox, it's me. Does the hair growth thing work on pubes?
I love those voicemails because they're just stream of consciousness, and he just tells me what he's thinking, and a lot of them are really informative. He puts a lot of thought into them.
But does it work on pubes?
We'll find out. We'll find out, guys, because I do have I'm going to be taking before and after pictures.
Oh, wow. God, how did he get roped into this?
I think if a guy sends a dick pic, he should send it next to that dick pic of that Jonah Falcon dude, just for scale.
No. Nope. No,
yeah, that's just waiting to happen.
When your parents ask you, it's like, oh, hey, Ron, you got a new house. Yeah, let me send it next to a picture of a mansion for scale.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna send a dick pic, I think that because too many get sent out, I feel like this would tone down on it. A dick, an algorithm would recognize that you're trying to send a dick pic, and then it would also send the world's largest penis, just so you can see. And I think that would decrease dick pics.
I see
a ginormous amount.
So Congress should legislate on that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Taylor, we should get the U.S. government involved.
Taylor, what you got? Some quick news headlines for us.
New sex robots may turn down steamy romps if they are not in the mood.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
It's a fucking appliance, man.
That's very interesting.
Love robots have been invented with the intelligence to go on strike and shut down completely if pestered when not in the mood. Sexbot Samantha's ability to say no was demonstrated to an audience of stunned academics. Yeah, stunned academics at one of the UK's leading science villages. The robot has sensors hidden under her skin so she can respond to affection like a real-life human.
Wow. This is a debate topic that we can have.
We skipped the fun of having a sex robot right into having a sex girlfriend.
Yeah,
you just have a girlfriend.
I totally agree. I was thinking the same thing, that people get the robots because they're not getting the sex.
Yeah. And then if the thing's going to say no to you, like...
What's the point?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to go to jail for raping sex robots.
Oh, my God. That's what's coming.
You're 100%
It is an
right.
interesting thing to say, wait, do you need consent to have sex with a robot?
Right.
Well, fucking, where do you draw the line? You need consent to have sex with your vacuum cleaner. You need consent to have sex with your watermelon. Like, where do you draw the line? What do you consent
I mean,
with
I'm a little freaked out because I usually put my dick in the washing machine, and I've actually never asked if it was okay. I just kind of put it on the spin cycle and let it go. So, am I going to jail?
But I wonder why they did this. Like, I'm very curious, like, why they changed the...
I'm curious, too.
I guess.
Well,
or maybe to teach the men how to... ask gently. I don't know.
Ask consent.
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't
you know what? Next version of the sex robot. Now you have to take the robot out on a date, and you have to meet its parents. And,
oh my God, this is amazing.
People's egos get bigger after meditation and yoga, says a new study. In a paper due to be published in the journal Psychological Science, researchers note that spiritual Buddhist practices like yoga and meditation may not do what proponents typically say they do, according to the study authors. Ego quieting is a central element of yoga philosophy and Buddhism alike. That element and its presumed implications require serious rethinking, they write. Moreover, ego quieting is often called upon to explain mind-body practices, well-being benefits. In contrast, we observed that mind-body practices boost self-enhancement, and this boost in turn elevates well-being.
Wait, what? I'm not picking up what they're putting down here. What are they saying?
So they're saying that when you do yoga, and you're supposed to suppress your ego when you do it, and it's supposed to make you more humble or something. Yeah, that's what I think of people who do a lot of yoga. Real humble. Because I see that shit on Instagram, all those crazy poses they're doing on boulders and shit.
You're just jealous because you can't touch your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
people. So they're saying like people with the yoga gives you like meditation gives you an ego.
I bet it's just confidence. That's all it is. I bet it's just a...
Yeah, of course it gives you ego because you like, stretchable and flexible and you look tight as fuck.
But like the whole process is to ego quiet or make your ego less so that you're able to...
How am I going to make my ego less though when I'm so fuck-ass woke?
Yeah.
Yoga is the... Yoga is the CrossFit of meditation.
You actually can't do yoga and not tell someone that you do yoga.
It's true.
It's impossible.
It's like people who don't have a TV.
Yeah.
It's the first rule of yoga. Yeah, it's like people who don't have a TV or people who don't eat sugar.
Yes.
Oh, I don't eat sugar anymore.
4 in 10 people have deleted a social media account in the past year due to privacy worries,
Good.
Study says.
Amen to that.
Edelman surveyed 9,000 people in Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, and the United Arab Emirates, UK, and US for the study that was published as part of the Cannes Lion International Festival of Creativity in France. The social media study builds on Edelman's annual trust barometer revealed at the World Economic Forum in Davos in January.
Huh. So people are deleting their social media accounts.
Well, which ones are they deleting though?
It's got to be Facebook.
I mean, I just got rid of my MySpace.
I met a guy at VidCon who was like a developer for MySpace.
Wow.
Like way back in the day.
I think it got sold to like the Philippines or something. I wish I kind of kept it.
Yeah.
Didn't Justin Timberlake own it?
Yeah,
for like a week?
Yes.
I think he still does. It's still his
Does
company.
he?
And then News Corp had it before him. That was Fox News, Rupert Murdoch's company. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think, like, are we all going to have Facebook when we're 60?
I hope not.
Facebook is like for old people. This
Yeah.
is like what I've heard.
It's not hip anymore.
No, it's like for
But they
old
still
people.
have, like, what was, when we had the marketer guy on, he sold to that Facebook has like 1 billion monthly active users. Instagram has 1.3 billion.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's a couple people deleting it, like, this thing is around to stay.
Facebook,
I had
yeah.
no idea it was that many people.
Oh,
by the way.
it's a lot. And not only that, but it accounts for about 45% of all internet traffic. All internet.
Really?
Yeah, I think it goes directly to Facebook.
And the other 55% is actually Jonah Falcon's dick.
2 people are trying to download it at the same time.
Right, exactly. I was trying to ding for you.
I need a bigger monitor.
Yeah,
Yeah, If it wasn't for Facebook Messenger, I wouldn't go on Facebook at all.
That's the only thing that I actually. Well, what I like about Facebook Messenger, at least for doing stand up, is that you can see, like Mac Mail is just the most aggressively unorganized thing in the world. So with Facebook, it's just nice to have a thread of old conversations there that I could scroll up,
hate it,
and see what was there. I love it.
No, I hate that because.
Why do you hate that?
Because
how is that not useful?
I'll tell you how. I was going to book a guest on this show. And I met her at a party, and I thought that was the first time I've met her. I completely forgot that I not only had met her, but I was already Facebook friends with her. And when I pulled up her Facebook page, I thought, oh, cool. We're already friends. This will be easy. So I pulled up the Messenger tab, right? I click message, and there's only one message to her from me, and I was hitting on her.
Oh no!
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah, I was hitting. I asked her out on a date, and she didn't reply, and I was like, oh, man. So now if I respond
do you want it to be on my podcast? Oh, God, yeah. That is a terrible, terrible feature to have.
Yeah, it's awful. And then another time, too, I have a friend who I think at one point we had, kind of a disagreement or something, and it was years ago, and we've since become really close, and everything's fine, and we patch things up. But the last Facebook conversation we had was this stupid, petty argument that we got into, and so I wanted to send her a message, invite her to my birthday party, and I saw that message. I'm like, well, not bringing that up again.
Right.
We need to send you need to just send a ton of pictures as a page break, or just some weird hey, look at this funny meme,
Yeah. I hate that, and I also hate when it notifies you that the other person has seen your message.
Oh, right.
Hate that.
Yeah.
Indian police on Thursday said rats nibbled through more than 1 million rupees of banknotes after busting into a cash machine in the country's northeast. The rodent heist in Assam state was only detected by bank officials after locals complained that the ATM was faulty and had stopped dispensing cash. Police told the AFP the rats munched through an estimated 1.2 million rupees. You want to guess how much money, American money, that is?
How much?
$40?
18 grand.
Wow.
That's pretty sad.
Worth of hard currency, the local media reported. Images showed an upend ATM filled with torn and shredded 500 and 2,000 rupee bills.
Hey, the rats went to the doctor, get a diagnosis afterwards. You know what he said? Your diet's too rich.
All right, guys, I'm out. It was good to see you.
I actually liked it. I thought it was funny.
Here,
That's all I got.
got a dad without kids over here.
Yeah, dad jokes.
Anything else, Taylor?
I got a couple more. Do you want me to keep
Let's
going?
do one more because we got to wrap this up.
Do you want a sadder one or a dumb one?
Dumb one.
Kathy McVeigh learned the hard way that a hot dog can hurt.
Okay.
It just came out of nowhere and hard, she said.
What?
I'm actually reading what the news said.
Okay.
On Monday night, McVeigh was at the Phillies game. She was seated behind home plate when
Philadelphia.
the fanatic rolled out onto the field with his hot dog launcher. The green mascot started firing away into the stands. The fanatic shoots real hot dogs, and they're wrapped in duct tape. On Monday night, she ended up in the emergency room for a CAT scan to make sure she didn't suffer from her concussion. She is black and blue and very sore. Her facial injuries need to be iced every 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
You look at her pictures of her, it's like, whoa, that was done with a hot dog?
Wow.
Yeah, well, but also wrapped in duct tape.
And a launcher.
Yeah, in a launcher. Why wrapped in duct tape?
Sounds like it'd be hard to get to the hot dog.
I think we just stumbled upon the answer to the gun control epidemic. Is that just to take away all the guns, but to replace them with hot dog guns?
Right.
I mean, we tried to replace them with paintballs the other day where people were still getting killed.
Still getting
But
killed, yeah.
at least hot dogs will be kind of hilarious.
We got to sate our need and desire to fire things in each other's faces. We can't not do that.
Look at Catherine's comment. Assault with deadly wiener. That's great.
Bravo. Well, thank you, Taylor, for the news. Therapist Kelli, thank you for joining us
so
again.
much.
It's always a pleasure. We
I
love
love
having you
being
back. The fans love you. You're always a fantastic guest. Let's do it again soon.
Thank
and
you.
The book comes out, you said, on the
26th.
On the 26th.
Thank
and so
you.
it's geared more for
kids with ADHD.
For kids with ADHD.
Yeah.
So for the kids themselves or for the parents?
It's for the kids to do, but the parents can help.
Oh, fascinating. Okay, that's great. That sounds like it's serving a really important need because it seems like a lot of books are written geared for adults.
Exactly.
Rather.
Sure.
Okay, very fascinating. Well, thank you again,
Thank you
Therapist
so
Kelli,
much.
for coming on the show. Thank you to the first tangent officer, Ron Babcock.
Always a pleasure, Maddox.
Thank you to the journalist in moderation.
Thank you guys for voting.
Most of all, you're welcome.
Hey Maddox, Kylo Ren here. If someone on the left is fiscally liberal and socially liberal, and someone on the right is fiscally conservative and socially conservative, what's a libertarian? Fiscally liberal and socially awkward.
Shots fired. And then we got
Pretty good impression, actually. I mean, maybe it was actually him, but
wait, was that a real person?
Kylo Ren is the
from Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Oh, that's right. He did sound like Kylo Ren. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Didn't you get that when he said, "Hey, this is Kylo Ren"?
Right.
I thought he said Tyler Ben or
This
something.
is
I don't know.
Kylo Ren
Yeah,
from
Kylo
Star
Ren
Wars.
Star Wars. And we got one more voicemail. I always like to play these, but here's one we'll end with.
Hi, Maddox and gang. I was just wondering. Fuck.
That's funny.
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye.
Madcast Media Network.